It's like I feel like this one should have been the second one because it does seem like a sequel type thing because they didn't really add anything new like the second one did. The second one actually gave you more information about like how to beat it or something, or at least attempt to beat it. And
Mm-hmm.
this one didn't really add nothing. And also there was no Tony Todd. That's what really pissed me off too.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows that though.
But was there?
What was there? I mean, he was the voice of the. Oh, boom! Do 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 do. So cool. What the fuck is here, man?
It's fucking FBI, dude.
Fuck. Agent Shrek.
Oh, man. I was sniffing the bus seats. Welcome. I'm John Canopener.
And I'm James Wang.
And together we are Rock Hard. And today what we are talking about is Final Destination 3. A little film that came out in 2006.
Yeah.
And, man. What a piece of shit. What a just downfall from the first two.
Mm-hmm.
And I was giving the first one a lot of shit. When we saw the second one, but now, dude, no.
This
is
makes
like
the
Oscar worthy
first one
compared to
like
this.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just gonna go right into it. I'll take it away with the first. It just looks cheap. It just looks cheap to me. It just looks like a set everywhere. And I know that sounds stupid because we're watching a movie. Duh, it's sets. But they should be believable. Like, you should feel like this is a real environment. A couple times when they're like driving through town and stuff like that, yeah, it feels real. But the school felt fake as fuck. The fucking the whole amusement park in the beginning felt fake as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
The gym, the fucking everything. It just looked like a set. The Home Depot kind of looked like a real Home Depot. But for the most part, it just looks very cheaply made. Just enough to make it a Final Destination movie, but not enough to really give a fuck about a Final Destination movie.
So the very first thing that I put, it's kind of like I do agree that like it does look cheap, like the sets, and then I can see what you mean because like a good movie would try their best to make it not look like a set, like an actual functioning town or actual functioning amusement park and stuff. Though I did like the cynical perspective of like the opening scene when they're showing like around like the amusement park and like making it like all creepy for some reason. Like they turn like a family friendly park into something that can be sinister and stuff like that. And I also kind of like I also put that like it also traumatized a generation just like the second movie because like now with roller coasters and stuff. Something that most people like doing, but now they kind of just ruined the joy for me at least too. It kind of like ruined the joy of riding a roller coaster because I've always thought about shit like that happening because of this fucking movie, and also just like random like real life disasters at parks too. Like around this time, especially like there's like been like news for like years that like something happened at a fucking Six Flags or something, and there's like real life tragedies happen at amusement parks. So it's kind of like perfect timing.
Yeah,
this was like the boom of that as well too.
I see where it comes from. I get it. But the one that's why I like the second one so much better. It's probably going to be my favorite out of all these. Is because no one gave a fuck about that log truck until you saw this movie.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a fear until you saw this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's always kind of a fear of roller coasters. There's always kind of fear of flying. So you can't really.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's not really. There is a fear of driving and people being stupid on the highway. But you know what I'm talking about. The log truck. No one was scared until
this movie.
Until that movie came out. And then bam, dude.
It fucked everyone up.
So it's still so far the best out of all three of these. But yeah. I did say the opening was decent. Like the roller coaster accident is decent.
Oh, the premonition.
Yeah. I just wish there was more. You only see like two people really getting fucked up.
And everyone just like falls and stuff. Like they fall to their deaths and stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, come on, man. Like, show me some good stuff.
Though, like some people like Lewis, he just got fucking slammed into the fucking
I have
pole.
him. I have him, and I have Kevin.
Yeah, like they're the only ones that like were cool enough, and then Wendy just fell to her death. That's it too. So everyone just fell. Though, like also like the one of the carts like derailing and falling off was kind of cool. That was a little explosion, or not explosion, but like just coming off the tracks and stuff.
I kind of wish like somebody would have got flown into, like you're talking about, like something innocent, like I don't know, like an arcade, like not an arcade game, but those games like ring toss and stuff like that. But maybe there's one to where it's like the shooting one, and maybe someone falls into like one of those booths to where they're like shooting, but like they don't die right away, you know, and like, oh, cut their fall, but like someone shoots the target and it ends up like fucking like shooting
killing them or something.
Something cool, or a dart or something.
Like something more creative.
Yeah, everybody just kind of falls off the fucking local, and it's like you have a whole playground here. We have this whole playground, you know, to play in, and you just focus on this one fucking thing. One ride.
I was gonna say I kind of agree with you there, because like at least with the second one you had like different types of accidents, not all like car crashing and flips. It was like a part of a log hitting the fucking cop car.
Yes.
The guy getting slammed by a motorcycle. The mom can't brake the fucking car and they slam it to a gasoline thing and then blow the fuck up or something. You know, like
you think it's over and then another thing happens, and
then the guy burning in the car, and then the truck coming.
So well thought out, so well done. Like that's what I said. It's an argument for one of the best horror openings of all time. Like, that is a fucking sick opening. Like, mad respect. This seems like, let's get another one out quick while it's hot. What are we gonna do? Roller coasters. Okay,
roller coasters.
Fuck it. Let's go. And they put like zero thought into it. But whatever. What do I know? I never made a movie. I never made a fucking movie, dude. We made a couple skits.
Yeah.
Go check out right now.
Yeah, go ahead and check those out.
Special Horror Investigations Team. Yeah, if you didn't know, that's us.
It's us. Yeah.
We're the actors in there.
The next thing I have kind of goes along with the premonition, death scene. The one thing that they kind of did right for me, or that like checks my boxes, is like the anxious feeling you get when you like look at a roller coaster. Kind of like, I'm sure, like, you know, like the jitters you get, kind of like the excitement, like that adrenaline that you're getting. Like, oh, let's go. I kind of felt that as by watching this movie, like the opening scene and then just the rushes and the wind and everything. So again, like I see where you're coming from, like in that sense, but I also like give it like credit where credit is due when they did a good job of like the mood and atmosphere. Like they did a good job with the opening credits of like the names and stuff, and also with the actual roller coaster, just the big, seeing how fucking big it is. I kind of appreciate for that, even though it is like fake. I think the whole track is fake, like it's not even real.
I don't know, some parts it looked like they were on a roller coaster,
but they made it taller than what it is. I think something like that.
And there's other times you see it and it's just like, oh, that's I think
like average. Was
it this one that was 3D or the next one that was 3D?
The next one was 3D.
Okay, because this looks like it could almost be
almost
with the roller coaster, like, you know, but the shots of them on the roller coaster, like the POV or the camera facing them in the front of the roller coaster, that looked kind of real. Like
I think
think they used like some real roller coaster.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did actual like they actually rode a roller coaster and then they just kind of like recorded their reaction and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the opening goes, it's decent. That's all I put. It was just decent.
Yeah, I put it was decent too. The one thing I did not like though was just like super random. She sees the whole fucking vision in her head. And she's like, "Oh my god, this thing's gonna crash. Everything's gonna happen." Like the whole like typical Final Destination fashion, where the main protagonist is trying to warn everyone like something's gonna go down and stuff like that.
And we have to watch it again.
And but the part where I'm trying to get to is that like one of the workers told everyone, no one gets off this ride. When everyone's fighting and stuff, and then Lewis is like telling her like oh yo, they know, like fucking get your bitch or something, you know, like trying to like get your bitch or something, and then he gets in his face like fuck you man, and they're fighting and stuff like that, and they start fighting, and then he slaps and he dodges it, and then he slaps like Erin, Erin, like the girlfriend of Ian and stuff like that. So it was funny, and they had to fight.
I shouldn't be laughing. I don't know.
But it was kind of like. So it was kind of funny. It was a little bit because the boyfriend of Wendy's like, let me go check on her and shit like that. But like, no one gets off. Like, they can't fucking do that.
They cannot.
They cannot hold you there against your will.
There's no way. You say I need to get off right now, they have to let you go.
And also too, when they kicked everyone off the ride, and those two bitches got off, and then Frankie got off. They didn't replace
those two hot girls.
Yes,
talk about that.
weird.
Yeah.
But what's it called? They didn't replace those seats. They just let the ride go. And like, there's people waiting in line. You don't want to not fill in those seats, I guess.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I'm saying. So like, again,
Like, have you been to an amusement park ever?
like you would know, like they get off, you fill those seats in.
Yes.
There's
not
a
gonna waste
long ass
time.
line.
There's
Yeah.
a long line. People got to go. Go. I think even like Pirates of the Caribbean, they got it down to like 1,800 people an hour.
That's fucking crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like numbers. And this isn't Disneyland, but you know, come on, make it believable. We've all been to a park before.
Yeah.
They fill those asses or those seats in with asses. Like they fill those asses.
They fill those asses with seats with asses.
They fill those asses at fucking amusement parks, bro.
They fill their asses, all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they fill those seats with asses quick because they know it's gotta go.
they gotta go. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like little things like that, obviously, like kind of just makes it like, yeah, just like less credible that it's like actually authentic. Like they didn't really try their best to make it seem like an authentic amusement park. They just like whatever, you know, just for the sake of the story, they kept it going.
Even like Kevin, the main guy, like Letterman jacket
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like he's worn it all year. It's brand new. Like they didn't give a fuck about details like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like just making stuff look like they've been in school for a while. Like anything. Like it's just those kind of details. I'm kind of rambling on about that, but
no, but I get you though. But I'm saying aside from like that like weird little thing after everything,
it kind of looks like CW, bro.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like a TV show, like the acting and the
it's where
sets.
you forgive it for Channel 5 or whatever, but like for a movie, and you're following these two badass movies with this piece of shit, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I like the way that it made me feel by that anxious feeling.
Yeah, it did make you anxious,
Mm-hmm.
but it did. There's just parts that fucked it up. Like what's his name? Frankie Cheeks.
Frankie
Cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie Cheeks. That perv.
Yeah, he like graduated like 2 years ago before this happened. He's still hanging out like around with these teenage girls and shit.
Different time, you could do that back in the day. But the fact that he's just overly like, come on, just squeeze your tits together, let's go,
Yeah.
let's do this kind of stuff. Like it's very like
it's off-putting.
just generic and off-putting.
Like the second movie. With
it's
the
like a
friend and stuff.
wannabe Stifler.
For sure, yeah.
But this guy's got no riz, like fucking. I said riz.
Damn.
But he's got none of that. He's wearing a dumbass hat, a dumbass fucking
Necklace.
stupid fucking mud flap chain with the bitch fucking laying there, and just thinks he's cool as shit. And it's just like,
I think that's the whole point.
I get it. This is like, I think Offspring saw this and was like, let's write Pretty Fly for a White Guy right now. Because that's there you go. There's the image of that guy. But yeah,
Fly white guy.
yeah, no bueno with that guy. And he's just like over the top with these two girls that are supposed to be like banging. And I'm sorry, but like, nah. They're ugly.
Yeah, they're not that great.
They're butterfaces for sure. And their bodies aren't. They're just standard bitches. Nothing to write home about.
I would definitely say like they're like for like early 2000 standards. I guess they were like okay.
To make them be like, it's like, like they're like Nadia from like American Pie or something like Shannon Elizabeth. They're making it seem like these girls are like that level of hotness.
They're not.
It's just like,
but they're not.
not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. Not even close. But I just, it bugs me how they're trying to make it seem like.
Yeah, they make it seem like.
Oh, and I'm like, what? The no ass bitch right there? Yeah, okay, great.
I was gonna say, I told him earlier to where like, the problems I have like as we get on later with these movies. Now that I'm starting to realize it, the more as we go on, the less I start like caring about the characters. Kind of. With the first movie, I kind of cared about all the characters. Second one, like one or two people out of the bunch, and then with this one, like half the fucking cast I do not care about.
Yep.
I do not give a fuck about half of this cast.
And that's not your fault. This movie told you not to give a fuck about that.
Yeah. And it's like, and then so there's like no emotional attachment with any of the
Kevin
characters.
and Wendy.
That's the only two people.
That's the only two people that you're like told to care about because they put so much focus on them. And I get it. They're trying to recreate the Alex and Clear thing, but it's just not. It's not there. And it's pretty much trying to remake the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. And do we really have to go through this bullshit again? Like, how many more movies do we need of someone, like, at least in the second one, we got a premonition, but then she hooked up with Clear later and got some explanation.
Mhm.
This is straight up just, there's a premonition, we don't understand why again. Don't understand. And we're gonna you as the audience who knows how this works already has to follow through again with somebody figuring out
What happened?
that there's a plan. And I think there's something going on. I think, and it just gets so fucking like redundant at this point to where it's just like, and we're only the third one in. This happens again.
Yeah,
It's just
that's why I was telling you that like this definitely feels like this should have been the second movie, and then the second one should have been the third one.
because you get some,
And it would actually make sense for
Yeah, I think
Claire to
you're right.
come back, because Claire was in the psychiatric hospital. She like self-admitted herself in the hospital. So it would have been better if they went from 1 and then switched 2 and 3 to make 1, 3, 2, and then come back in the third one, which is the second one, and she comes back and all that shit
And you'd be like,
happens. She's back, you know.
she's back. You can even advertise it and be like, no way, I was gonna get good, you know. But instead, it's just generic sequel.
Because like with the second one, they added more. Like I told you, they added more to Death's design. With the first movie, we got introduced that there was a design, and then the second one, they told us the same design, but they added new shit. You know, new life can cheat death, and then it was also the intervening of someone else's death. So they added more. With the third one, they didn't talk about new life creates death. They didn't talk about that shit. They just talked about intervening, and the first movie kind of exists more than the second one, and they didn't really add anything to it. So I'm like,
And-
this should have been the second one.
And the second one looked more real.
Looked better, yes.
It looked real. It looked like it didn't look like sets. That's
It
what I'm
didn't.
saying.
Like the whole
it
highway.
convinced me it wasn't a set. That's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
You're supposed to convince me. I'm supposed to believe that Iron Man's flying around, you know, doing all this. And I do, you know? And like with this, like you're supposed to make me believe that this is actually happening. This just looks like we're just waiting for the kills, bro. That's
Yeah.
it. And there's not that good. I mean, there's some good ones. Anyway, we'll get. Oh, I mean, whatever. We're already kind of there, but like, I don't know. The most memorable one to me was probably Freddy Cheeks or whatever.
Or Frankie's.
Yeah, that guy with the truck coming down the hill and all that seemed very Final Destination-y.
Yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
very like, yeah.
To where they're like, let's go. I'm jumping ahead, I know, but this is what we do. This is discussion.
Hmm.
But and they can't get out of the doors and all that kind of, yeah. And they're kicking out the windshield and they get out and bam, and his head just gets grinded by that fucking thing. And you just
Yeah.
see it for a second, but you got it. And you're like, oh God.
God.
And then they show the aftermath. Beautiful.
Beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah, the tension from the truck falling, like, oh fuck, and you know, and just everything clicking together at the same time. And anyway, like piece by piece by piece, it's like they gave a fuck about that one. I don't know what happened, but that one they seemed to really give a fuck about. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this happens, so this happens, and then this happens, and that happens because this has to happen, and blah 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 blah, and then and done.
Mhm.
I feel like that was probably my favorite one out of all of them. And
Yeah.
it was so quick. It wasn't even that gory. You just saw it for a second, but to me, I don't know. That one seemed well thought out and probably the best kill in the whole movie to me. I don't know, but I'm saying like the other ones, the kills are like they're planned out and you can see them kinda because we had this problem before to where there was some quick ones too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too with Frankie's and Lewis's. Like they were like very rushed. I would say rushed because like we're already kind of like, keep in mind we're already like at the point we're at in our notes. This is already like 30-40 minutes into the movie already. Like shit barely fucking
And
happens.
I did jump around, like
Yeah.
for real, but it's okay. That's why we never call ourselves reviewers.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. We are discussing this film, so we can jump around.
Yeah. My least favorite death would probably have to be Ashley's and Ashland's because
That's
it
your
is
least favorite?
one of my least favorites because it seemed like too coincidental.
Oh, yeah. I feel
In
that.
that sense, like if we're going based off like how believable it is that something happens to make it like an actual accident rather than death is fucking coincidentally doing something for something else to happen,
Exactly.
that's where I kind of have a problem with that too, especially with this one. So pretty much any of the deaths that seem very coincidental, those are my least favorites because they don't really seem authentic to make it believe that these are just accidents and not just someone like visibly forces doing something.
Right.
They died in a tanning bed. and then they had like the music and stuff and
Yeah.
all that dumb shit, and then you can see it that it's like coming off the wall a little bit, and then what the guy on the phone is like, little shit like that is like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know, it
The
just
tube of whatever body cream or whatever gets stuck in the door and
it's jammed or something.
it's jammed.
And then they put the drink in there, and then she doesn't fucking listen to the rules where he says no drinks in the fucking room, and she still brings it anyway.
And unbelievable, these little skinny bitches are drinking these fat fucking Slurpees.
Yeah, they're fucking huge, dude. They're huge ass Slurpees.
They're like, but no.
Mhm.
But yeah, they get locked up, and then you brought up in the middle of it.
Yeah, the fucking, and then yeah, they try getting out because the drink spills onto the little machine that says it cannot be above this number, and it starts going up, and then they turn up the heat at the same time, and that starts fucking up the electronics and stuff. And the shit
that shelf.
Yeah, the shelf just falls down, and then it somehow gets like wedged right in between the two beds, and then they can't get out.
They can't get out. And not one of them thinks to like just nudge that shit.
Nudge it to the side diagonally and just push it out.
And I know.
I know
From the
for the
outside,
movie, yeah.
we can figure this out, but on the inside it might be a little different. But no,
You're freaking out probably.
that's really stupid. That's one thing. Yeah, it's just bam, 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 bam. It's like all this dumb. It doesn't. It looks like a force. It looks like something
like being forced to.
Something is actually doing it instead of it just falling on its own or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past, we talked about that shit, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Just
Watching them getting burned up is pretty intense.
I mean, yeah, like that. I wish there was like a more clever way of keeping them in the fucking.
Yeah, because that's a brutal way to go.
It's a
and
brutal
that's one
way
of those
to
things
go.
to where you want to think it like everything's safe, but in reality, like
They're just trapped
oh
in.
god,
That's what I'm saying. Like, so
Burned
the
up.
actual death itself is not bad. It's just like the way it got there is what I have a problem with. In that, like I said, it just seemed too coincidental. And I mean, that kind of just tarnishes it for me a little bit.
I saw some old Sprite cans at the tanning salon.
Yeah.
The old school with the blue and the green on the bottom. It was kind of like sideways, like diagonal, and the silver with the little Sprite with the little lemon.
Like silver bottom and the blue top.
And I could almost taste it. Like it tasted different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw that can and I tasted Sprite again. When I taste Sprite now,
But I can,
it's just like a version of the Sprite.
I remember like being younger and just fucking crushing like multiple cans of Sprite, like the old cans of Sprite.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I only have one. I'm like, okay, then one
It
and
always
done.
tastes the best at McDonald's.
Yes.
Yes. Did it not? Like
McDonald's Sprite is the shit.
always. But all soda pretty much tastes better at McDonald's.
Everything tasted better at McDonald's.
Damn. Is it McDonald's?
McDonald's.
But yeah, I did notice that there. Sometimes I get those little nostalgia, little personal Easter eggs.
Yeah, especially
for me.
when you watch like older films and stuff.
And I was like, I gotta see that. I even rewound it a little bit. I was like, wait. I saw these old soda cans. But it made me happy. That's all it is. I do have, on a real note, that there's no like cops. There's nobody that's. I mean, there are cops later on in the movie, but there's nobody that's like super interested that Wendy had this vision, even though everybody saw her. Like
Freak the fuck out.
the manager of the roller coaster and all that kind of stuff, all those people there, they all saw that shit happen. So there'd be police reports and stuff like that. Like how they did in the first one to make it believable. Like this would really be that. And they're iffy on Alex because Alex is, he had a premonition and it really came true. And now they're thinking like, whoa,
he had something to do with
is
it.
kid up to something. There is zero of that in here. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and you
Nobody cares.
Yeah, and you even said to yourself too, like not only is there not cops, but there's also like not any parents too.
There's no parents. They didn't even give you the respect enough to make this believable to have some actual parents around.
Mm-hmm.
At least you got that in the first one.
In the first and second one.
Yeah.
In the first two, you have actual parents and stuff like that. Yeah, you didn't want.
They're caring about them, like, oh, we're worried about you. That kind of stuff. Like a parent would. In this, no. You see the sister. You see Wendy's sister. That sister.
That looks older. Not older, but like old. Yeah,
I thought she looked older.
Yeah, she looks older. Yeah.
She looked like Steven Tyler. If I'm being real. She had that weird mouth. Like Joker mouth. Like Steven Tyler.
Big mouth. Yeah.
They got a bunch of lines, and she's only like
She would be like
20 or something. I don't know.
Weird.
Anyway, she looked older than Wendy, but besides the point, that's the only other family you hear them talk about a grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Because the charm bracelet, rotten luck. See, she can't be everybody's grandma. I was like, what if that's the grandma?
Oh, the grandma from Bloodline.
Yeah, you want, what's it called? ASMR? Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah. What, like to where you just make sounds in the microphone?
I got some chili dogs. You want to hear me eat them? I'm pervy.
You want to watch us eat?
I got some cold chili dogs I forgot about.
I know, I have a chili burger too that I have to eat. All right, so the next thing that I have, this one like seems kind of like random, but I feel like it's something worth mentioning, to be honest. I put how like they're trying really hard in this movie to make like death like be like present, kind of. Because in the first couple movies, like the first and second one, they like kind of made it like ominous, like in the shadowy type figure. Like you don't really see it, but in this one, there's like multiple like examples that they tried showing that he's like actually like physically there and stuff. And usually in the movies, they would see like the little like wind, little breeze. But
Yes.
this one, the scene I'm referencing to is the scene where like after like the funeral of those two chicks and stuff, Ashley and Ashlyn, and it's Kevin and Wendy, and they're talking about like the whole like 180 thing. They're talking about 180 again, and then they start feeling like the wind and stuff, but like very like strong winds. I'm like, are they trying to show that like, because she thinks it's her boyfriend, his presence around her, but it's like it's not. It feels colder and then the wind's being very picked up. It's like, are they really trying hard to show that that's like he's very like his presence is like right fucking there? I don't know. I'm having a hard time like.
No, I get you. I understand. They had, once again, just a cheap way of representing death.
It's just confusing now.
Yeah, it makes it really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. So in addition to Frankie's death that we talked about earlier in the video, there's one thing I did notice, and it, you know, like when they're waiting in that drive-through, you know, to get food and shit, and then that truck backs up into them, blocking them inside the truck of Kevin's car or truck. That same truck is like the same one in Final Destination 2.
Oh.
It's like the same one. On the side it says like drink responsibly and shit like that, and then above like the same logo and stuff. So it looks like the same truck. So it's a nice little throwback.
Wow.
Something I noticed. I mean, I could be wrong, but
No.
that drink responsibly slogan is like in the second one and this one too.
Let's go for this guy.
I just like that. And also, yeah, just Frankie's death. I mean, we already kind of mentioned it. It's very brutal. I like that one. I think that's probably one of my favorite deaths.
Even though it's
in this
quick,
one too.
it's sweet. You know, you just see a glimpse of him getting.
I have another favorite death in this movie, but yeah, Frankie's death is another one. Also another one that I did not really like. This one's kind of like mid for me because it is kind of like, because you started pointing out some things too. It's for Lewis's death.
The swords don't look real.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to make it seem like the swords are going to be the threat. They try to throw you off, you know. And so you're looking at these things and you're like, oh, they're going to come down and chop his head off. I think what's going to happen. I think so. But they look plastic as shit.
Yeah, they look fake as fuck.
They don't look like real swords anyway. So I'm not. Like, you're talking about that anxiety feeling that you feel for the roller coaster.
Yeah, and they kind of lost me after that.
They're trying, kind of, like a half-ass attempt to make me scared of these swords that look fake as fuck to slice this kid's, you know, head off or whatever.
That's actually another good point. Now that I'm thinking about it, that you just said, there's nothing besides from the premonition scene. There's no other death in this movie that lead up to it that got me like, oh.
I would say Frankie's.
Kind of. But I'm talking about like, because I think about the second one a lot now, because like, you know, with the kid's death or the fucking, you know, the mom's death, you know, everyone's death is
they
like,
spent time on it. Yeah.
Oh fuck, you know, like you thought, you know, he was gonna die by fucking being suffocated by the blowfish or you know, I'm like, fuck.
Is that something?
Yeah.
I see a guy with hooks. You guys see a guy with hooks? Like there was
a lot of like shit into that, and this one, yeah. So again, now that you made me realize that, yeah, there's like not a death in here. I'm like, oh fuck, come on. Dude.
And it's back to only one person seeing premonitions.
Yeah, back to one person, and then again it follows that same.
When Clear stated in the last one that we could all have.
Yeah, that you just gotta look out for them. You got obvious signs and stuff.
And in the first one, because
she got it too.
She got it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now we're back to square one. They pretty much try to remake the first one.
Yeah,
Terribly.
for sure. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
But another thing that pissed me off too about Lewis's death is like the area that they were in. You said it too, how like the gym that looked like a set. Like it didn't really seem like an actual authentic gym. And also, again, another one where it just seemed like too coincidental. You have like the fucking random bear there. You have like the water spilling on the floor, and then the guy plugging in the fucking the CD
Which I guess
player.
has never happened before. It seems like that water fountain does that all the time. And that somebody would have plugged something in at some point. And it would have. Anyway, yeah.
As I'm saying, it just seemed too coincidental.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way he went out, it's kind of like he's like doing it really fast. And then like, I mean, I'm no gym expert, but like if you're doing it fast, that means you're already kind of used to that weight. You should probably go up a little bit more.
Yeah, you little bitch.
Like you're still stuck doing the same. And he's like, that whole shit's moving. I'm like, you got to go a little bit more,
this,
dude.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Like, come for me. You might want to up it up a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And then he just fucking... Oh, yeah, and then the guy, like, in front of the bear, like, it's fucking screeching in front of the bear.
Was like, ah!
And then he hits the fucking... I guess he was so powerful that he hit the claw of the bear, and then hit the guy in the eye, and he drops the thing, and then it starts this whole chain reaction thing, and then it fucking goes up, and then cuts the swords down.
Yeah.
Cuts the weight down. He's like, see, I'm live. Fuck that. Blah, blah, blah. And then he brings it, and it smacks his head.
The weights just smack his head. Smash it.
So I put Frankie's death and Lewis's death in the same like line because I put out they're just very quick. Again, like the second movie, like final act stuff to where they gotta fucking get to a certain place. I feel like they tried, instead of doing that at the end, like they done it in the last movie, they probably tried doing that in between. Just to get rid of two characters, boom, back to back kind of, you know, with Frankie's death and then now Lewis's death.
Yeah.
Instead of at the end.
And in this one, they try to use the camera as like,
as like the clues and stuff. We're
gonna do something different. We're just gonna use this camera to show all the clues and stuff. But once again, like I just said, remember in part 2, I seek out with hooks. You know what I mean? Other people can get premonitions too. So by having it all in this camera, like you're making it just all about one thing. You're not branching out. You're not being creative with how these things should fall into place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. It really sucks. It really sucks because this 2 movies in, it's a good little run so far. And then you hit this and it's just like, God damn it. This.
Yeah. And then to be fair, like I told him off camera, like this is probably the first and the third one are the ones I've seen the most. And after rewatching this one, after like back, cause this is my first time like actually binge watching the whole franchise. I've never done that before. I just watch them like here and there every once in a while.
Yeah.
But watching it back to back, you can see, clear as day, which one's the better film and which one is lacking. And I can definitely say that this third one definitely lacks in the terms of the other one.
A smaller budget.
I mean, the actors were fine. Like Kevin and Wendy, they were great. I mean, I have nothing against them as characters.
No, it's just everything around
them is just
terrible.
It blows. Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good at all. That's pretty much it, man. I don't really have much else. I kind of already said this, that we're just kind of retreading familiar waters. You know?
That's exactly what I have too. I put nothing new in Death's design, just stuff we already know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Do we really have to keep going on this journey with a person when the audience already knows what they're in for?
Yeah.
We already know. You're not adding anything new. You're just like, here's some kills, fuck you. And like I said, off camera, it's kind of like the Saw 5 of everything. I know. People want to say Saw 4 is terrible, but
no, it's better. Any Saw 4 is better.
I think Saw 1 through 4 is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I think when you get to Saw 5 and 6 and 7,
it goes downhill a little bit. A little bit, yeah.
That's when it really becomes like traps and bullshit.
Predictable too.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people like 6. You know, we're not talking about Saw today, but I know a lot of people like 6 because of the meaning behind it. But at the same time, I mean, it's once again, like it's just like crazy contraptions. Like how in the fuck don't think about it. don't think about it. Just go with it. Just go with it. Even though the first were so simple, like let's just don't think about it. This is anyway. That's kind of where I am here. Where it's where we're only in the third movie, and they're like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just go along with it, you dumbasses.
Mm-hmm.
Or puke. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry for burping in here so much. I just can't help it. I have Crohn's. But for them to just, spoon feed you and spoon feed you and spoon feed you, and it's just bullshit after bullshit scene, death after death, that doesn't make sense. And then we're going the same goddamn journey, and then you're cheating it by fucking making it all about this one little camera. I think I see something. Dumb, dude. Dumb. You can't have all this badass shit before, and then in the third one, which is usually supposed to be like the biggest, baddest, craziest finale you've ever seen in your life, just be a retread of shit you've already seen and cheaper. Fuck you. This is a bullshit movie. This is a cash grab because us horror fans are going to keep coming back for this. And that's why we're coming back for Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Because we will. We're whores for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is like after watching all these movies back to back, this one is again, it's just like weak sauce.
Yeah.
The premonition itself, pretty mid. The signs that she gets, pretty mid, because at least with the first one, it's like visible signs, but like newspaper clippings or something, like just like little things like that. With the second one, is she's getting actual visions,
And other people are getting visions.
Yeah, and then this third one is like the camera, and is like kind of. Though I do like the physical pictures they tried. It's
cool.
Clever.
Yeah.
It's clever in a way. It's a little different, but yeah, it's just in comparison to the other two, it's just definitely like the weakest out of all of them. I feel like they tried remaking the first one just shittier.
Yes, that's exactly what they did, and it's obvious. It's obvious when it's a cash grab, and when it's a cash grab, that pisses me off.
There are some deaths I like in this movie. And one of them was Frankie's death. Another one that I actually liked the most was Erin's death, the girlfriend of Ian, when they're at
the nails.
They're at the department store, and they try getting him on board because Kevin and Wendy they're like convinced that like these pictures can tell signs of who's gonna die next and blah blah blah, and they're trying to spread the word to the survivors of the roller coaster crash, and they already failed with Frankie because they didn't realize that. That's when they first started realizing that shit actually makes sense for their lives and stuff. And then Lewis didn't believe and he fucking dies, and now they're trying to get to Erin and Ian at the department store that looks like Home Depot and stuff like that, which that's like the only place that looks
and there's some
legit.
Good details in there, because even the price signs in that motherfucker look like the way Home Depot does,
like an actual department store.
They do like paintbrushy.
Yeah,
make it look like a contractor did it or something. So it's pretty clever how they did that. Unless it was a real Home Depot and they changed it to blue.
They changed it, but anyway, yeah. So they try getting them on board, and obviously they're like skeptical. They're like whatever, they don't believe him. So that's like already like fucking like almost like half the cast is already gone, and no one fucking believes them. It's like God, and the movie's almost over too. They were like, this is like already like halfway through the movie plus more. So. It seems very rushed now that you're thinking about it. It seems a very rushed movie, and pretty much like they don't believe it. And then Ian was supposed to die because the stupid forklift, she pushed the nail thing to, again, typical chain reaction stuff. It's like I mean, it's hard to explain how the movie goes because it's just so weird. Like it's not even like a good weird. It's just weird. It's like how everything happens. It seems
this happens and that happens.
Yeah, it just seems like too. Like artificial. It doesn't seem actual.
Exactly.
Accident. But anyway, Ian was supposed to get fucking impaled by these stakes. Kevin saves his ass, and then that goes up to Erin, and then the forklift behind them fucking does this weird thing, and then pushes her into the nail gun. And that part was cool because her hand was like this, and she's her face and stuff, and super gnarly. But I like the whole camera thing because they just showed kind of how people are gonna die. They showed the fan behind Frankie. They showed, and then with her face was like this. So kind of like it's kind of clever. So I'll give it some credit, but yeah, again, when it comes to like signs, it's probably my least favorite way of getting signs, but not the worst, in my opinion. There's some worser ones as we go on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far from that, I think Aaron's death and Frankie's death are probably my favorite ones in this movie. The next thing that I have is the twist that Julie, which is Wendy's sister, was on the roller coaster the whole time.
Yeah.
She found that out because she took the bracelet back that her grandmother gave to Julie, but Wendy's took it, and they have this weird. Again, at least they brought that into. They brought some turmoil, some family problems in between, a little drama into it. That there's stakes in this, and then that was a twist that she was on there the whole time, and then they have to go help her at this little was it not parade, like it's like kind of a 4th of July thing, something weird like that.
Yeah, it's a little
like fireworks show. I don't know. I forgot what it's called. It's called something, but I don't know what it's called. It's like an annual thing they do every year in their little town.
Little community party thing.
Yeah, but so she calls Kevin because Kevin's working security there and said that the sister was on the ride and shit like that, and that she's in danger, that she's next and stuff. And then that whole thing was kind of cool because I don't know, like there's like people around, but then again, now that I'm thinking about it too, it does seem like a set too. It doesn't seem real.
Exactly.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, like this doesn't really seem like an actual place. It seems artificial. It doesn't seem like genuine, like an actual, like, I don't know. Yeah, now that kind of bugs me now with this movie. I fucking
like
don't
Goosebumps or something.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like genuine at all. But I mean, other than that, like her getting that rope around her neck and being dragged and shit was kind of cool. And then Kevin have to come and fucking slice that shit off. And then she's like freaking out and she's like, who was with you? And like her friends are next to her. I'm like, if that was you, I'd be like, I was next to her. Like, what the fuck, you know? Instead, her friend just gets up and gets impaled by a fucking flag, and she just slowly goes down to the floor. I'm like, okay.
It was okay.
Kills to have kills.
Again.
Kills to have kills.
Just a quick one.
Yeah. And then that's when Ian comes in because he's been following Wendy the whole time after Aaron's death, because that was his girlfriend or whatever. And they still haven't figured out how Wendy was supposed to go out, because they don't really know. But they know that for Kevin, that is going to be an explosion or something in his face and stuff like that. With the sister. In my face. Yeah, and then with the sister, there was the white horse next to her and showing that the horse was gonna fucking take her into like these weird little spike thingies. Which, again, I guess that's probably one of the other scenes I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, come on, get her ass. Because that'd be kind of, because the first time I saw this, I thought they were gonna kill the sister, because they usually kind of do that, you know, they kind of give you that little emotional thing, like you already fucking lost your boyfriend and stuff, now you're gonna lose your sister and shit.
Even though in reality your neck would fucking break like instantly.
For sure, like the force of the horse holding
yeah,
you.
dude.
You'd be a limp body.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah, instantly, just fucking hang. And yeah, so pretty much Ian comes and trying to get revenge on Wendy for getting his girlfriend killed and stuff like that, and she's like, you just stay away from me and stuff like that. And he comes to the realization like, oh my god, like, do I cause your death and stuff like that? And he's like, you know, there was room for potential to be a little bit more maniacal than that, but I mean, he gets it.
Yes, he does.
He gets it. There's like the fireworks come tipping down, the little trailer hitch of fireworks and stuff. Yeah, shoots at him, and he kind of blocks his way, and he's like, you see, you're dead, you're next, and stuff like that.
Did he say I'm never gonna die?
I don't
or he said I'm not gonna die, or something like that. Yeah, he didn't say I'm never gonna die. That was the dumbest line from Carter. But yeah, in this one, I think he just said I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. And
then he gets fucking squished by the sign, the McKinley sign that's above them and stuff like that. So, but
because they all think he's the killer, he's gonna be a killer because his name's McKinley.
Yeah, because she was wearing a shirt,
and he just happens to have the same last name as
the school,
and they made that very clear in the beginning.
Yeah, he's like, how lame is that? And my last name's the name of my high school. Wow, big fucking deal, kid. And then lastly, I have the ending. Do you have that as well?
No, I'm done.
No? So then we get to the end. So everything works out. Kevin, Julie, and Wendy are all alive. They all fucking, they're the only survivors and stuff like that. And then fast forward, and she's already moved out of Pennsylvania, or she probably like moved somewhere else, probably to New York, probably. It seemed like the subways and stuff kind of seemed like,
well, I mean,
New Yorkish, probably, or maybe, Philadelphia.
Maybe she just moved out of the town or something.
Maybe, yeah, she like moved out. Either way, she moved out, and she's like has her roommate and her friend and stuff like that, and then she coincidentally hears this guy on the train playing song, and it happened to be the same song that she heard the whole fucking time. Like, How's it go again? Is there's somebody walking behind
Oh.
you, you know, something like that
Oh.
weird song and stuff like that.
It's something unpredictable. But yeah, whatever song it is. Yeah.
Whatever song that you hear on the radio before Frank got killed, and yeah, so they've done that a couple times throughout this franchise to where they kind of have a song and then it kind of plays a lot. So just to show that it's not over yet, and she starts freaking out and she wants to get off, and then coincidentally there's like a game or a football game that happened, and the people try coming onto the train, block her in from leaving and stuff, and before she's about to get out, her sister's there.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, right? Wow, what a coincidence, you're here too and stuff like that.
Slut.
And then she kind of forgets that they're supposed to get off and stuff, and then she's like, oh, let me show you my friend and my roommate, and they try like, you know, introducing, and then they look and they see Kevin's in the corner fucking hanging out and shit. And I said it just seemed like he didn't want to be noticed, but he didn't want to be rude and stuff like that. He's like having headphones in and looking down and shit like that, you know, trying to avoid eye contact. And then they notice him. He's like, oh, hey, whoa, what's going on? Hey, totally wasn't ignoring you guys.
I was not stalking you.
No.
This isn't where I parked my car.
This isn't where I parked my car.
Let me get out of here.
But anyway, and pretty much they all stand there together, and then Wendy kind of has another premonition of the train crashing, which, to be fair, I kind of like this better than the actual roller coaster.
Oh, yes.
I like the ending premonition.
This should have been the opening.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, something like that.
Train is, come on.
Super crazy.
Especially if you're gonna try to remake the first one.
Especially since that it's also
public transportation.
It's another relatable thing too. Yeah, because people use public transportation, and then also there has been derailments, even recently. Like, so it's a more common thing too. But anyway, and then you see the whole premonition play out, the whole crash. How the sister just gets fucking hit by something and she's gone, and then Kevin's on the window being. And then he gets dragged out, squished in between the. Yeah, I'm like, at the end, I'm like, fuck. Missed opportunity to have that. And then the whole thing crashes, and she's on the tracks. Her leg is fucking broken. She can't move. And then she just look up, and you see a train is coming at her and shit. Like, oh. And then it just cuts to her eye, and then pans out. And then she's like crying and stuff. And she's like, and then Kevin's like, what happened? What's going on? Oh my God, not again. Like, oh my God. And they try stopping the train, and then, you know, just it fades to black, and you hear the crash in the background, showing that they're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, I agree that this ending premonition was probably way better than the opening premonition, and this should have been that instead.
Yeah. What if it was reversed and it was everybody on a train? Because that's even more relatable, I would think, to people.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of people that would never ride a roller coaster, but
would take the train.
Yeah. Again, one of those things that you never think about. Like, you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Let's get on. That's more scary than something that's already scary, you know? So yeah, if they switch those around and they're like, oh, okay, it's 6 months later and they're all, just the three of them are at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Way easier too. Way easier with three people.
Yeah, for example.
Way easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just their seats open up or something like that. Like, and they fly out and dun, 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 dun. Like that's the end of the movie, you know?
Yeah, and then you also said how like the ending of like the train crash, it looks like a set.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, again, saying that, like, it does look like a set. It looks like Universal Studios type quality. And all the dead bodies and shit is like everyone just full body, just like there, you know. They didn't even try to, like, you know, have bodies split apart or whatever.
No.
They just kind of just had people lay around and stuff like that. But I mean, but still, for what it is, again, overall, this movie is all right. I would give us like a C out of, you know, the highest, which is an A. I'll give this movie a C.
A, B, C, D, F.
Yeah. I guess it's a C. It's not completely terrible, but it's pretty mid.
Yeah, if you turn this shit into me, I'd be like,
yeah. And
you're never going anywhere.
And like I said, this definitely should have been the second movie. I already said it before. Yeah, there's just some things to where, like, we already kind of know what's happened. They didn't add anything else, and it just seems like a sequel type movie.
And yeah, to just retread that shit to where it's just like, now it's somebody else getting a premonition. We have to go through the whole journey with this person, and it's just like, why? We already get it. We got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So for you to just do this, it's insulting to the audience. It's insulting to the fans for sure. And Yeah, I'm hoping that in this new one, that's the whole reason we're doing this.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't know, I should mention this in the beginning.
Yeah, we should mention this in the beginning.
But Final Destination, it's coming out in May. May what?
May 23rd.
It's coming out the same day as Mission Impossible?
I think so. Hold on. Or May 16th or something. One of those two. Hold on. Let me double check. Hold on.
It is coming out. The new fucking movie is coming out May 16th, which is Final Destination Bloodlines. We are watching every single one of these movies leading up to that.
Leading up to that, yes.
So, we're on the third one right now, and I hope to God they learned that they need to do something new. And I think they have.
I think it's been enough time in between that they would have something decent.
Yeah, we still have 2 more to go, but from what I remember, I mean, it's just somebody else getting a permission, something else happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping that they can bring something new to the table that we've never seen before and ignite a new, I don't know, a new key or point to this movie to where they can lead on to a couple more sequels and we can get some good movies out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Saw 10 did, or Saw X.
Like it's like open, like close some doors, open new ones to potential sequels.
Even though that
they
was
want
like
to keep
that
it
was like a
going.
middle chapter,
Yeah.
you know.
There's still potential. There's open questions that haven't been answered. So that could just lead up to potential sequels or a spin-off sequel or something, you know, that had to do with like the blonde bitch from Saw 10 or Carlos, you know, like there's potentials for spin-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Even though we're probably never gonna get them.
No, probably not.
This is something that like it's been long enough, dude. You can make a good movie. So
Yeah.
hope to God.
Well, the last thing that I have, these are just bonus stuff because like
I'm gonna grab Bruce.
one of the things that I appreciated about Final Destination 3 was part of the DVD release of this movie, they had like alternate scenes and they implemented this new thing called like choose their fate. And basically like you're able to like just choose different outcomes or different scenes and you get alternate scenes within the movie. There's some like alternate like death scenes and stuff like that, which I thought were really interesting. And one of them was actually Ashley's and Ashlyn's death. It's like they both die, they both go out the same way. Or not that they don't go out the same way, they just both die at the same time. But instead of like burning alive, they actually both get electrocuted. Like it's like something changes, like one of them gets out and one of them like grabs something and one like something happens and they both get electrocuted. Like I think there's scenes online.
They film that?
Yeah, but they
wow.
just didn't choose it. And so it's like a different like choose their fate thing. And so it's something different that they tried.
It's pretty cool.
Another one is called, or another alternate death scene, part of choose their fate is Frankie survives. And it basically like something happens to where, you know, when they're waiting in line in the drive-thru and he honks the horn and then Kevin honks the horn and then Frankie just flips him off and that's it and then all that shit happens.
Yeah.
Instead of that, Wendy honks the horn again and then Frankie turns around and then they realize it's him and shit and then they help him before he gets hit with the engine and then he actually gets carried away on a stretcher and then he's basically like saying that he's gonna sue and stuff like that. So he survives and that's it. He actually survives and stuff like that. So, but I guess they didn't want to go with that because he is kind of a fucking scumbag and douchebag and he kind of gets what goes coming to him. So I mean, yeah, fuck that. So another one too is another deleted scene that they didn't have, and it's called it was called like You Can't Cheat Death, and it's just a deleted scene from that confirms Kimberly and Officer Burke died. Because in the second movie, it was kind of shown that they survived and stuff, and you thought that they were survived, but it turns out there's a scene in the third movie that shows a newspaper clipping that they both died in a wood chipper accident.
Yeah, that would have been bullshit.
Again, like an off-screen death. Yeah, very sucks because now that kind of just kills. So, and no, yeah, and that also, I think I put that in the first or in the second video, which by the way, go check it out if you haven't seen that one. But I think I put how like it is like widely debated to this day if that is canon or not. Like people are saying, is that scene, even though it's deleted, is it still canon to the story? So are they alive or are they dead? You know, people are like, that's canon. Or some people are like, no, that's not canon because it's deleted. So they're still alive. So what do you guys think? Are they is it canon to you guys, or if they're
That's probably the whole reason they had it in a whole different state.
probably.
Because they couldn't get the actors back or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they did. None of the Kimberly or the cop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them shit else.
Yeah.
But maybe they were like, we just want to detach from that altogether and just make our own Final Destination. And there you go. So I don't know if they even gave a fuck enough to. Obviously they did.
Yeah.
Somebody did. And they were like, no, leave that shit out. But maybe it would have been redundant because we got the same thing with Alex. Like, no one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
to, like,
is to do it again. And plus, so that's what I'm saying. For me personally, me personally speaking, since it wasn't in the movie and is deleted, I do think it's like not canon. I do, because it could be potential for a return.
What if? Ooh.
What if Kimberly comes back, or Officer Burke comes out, or comes back?
What if? What if, like, you know how there was a group of survivors once again with Saw 7? What if there was a group of people that like knew how to defeat it, and that's Alex, that's Kimberly, that's the cop. You know, it's just them. And,
so far,
and the grandma. And the grandma could be attached to Tony Todd. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
We're thinking way too hard about this. Probably not going to happen.
That would be the clever writing if they were to do something like that. That would be kind of crazy.
A group that, and they're so like, they just safety all the time. They just know how to survive. And then they see the shit happening again, and somebody finds out about them. I don't know. I think it's a cool premise. Probably ain't going to happen. But yeah, that is a good point though. Because where the fuck are they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it does. They don't really specify where they're at, but that's the only like known thing about them. But it's a deleted scene. Like, that's all we know about their just if they're alive or not. But that's all we know about them after the second movie. So
and I thought we'd get some more juice on the premonitions, on where they come from. Why do people have them?
This is an alternate beginning and ending. So, it's Wendy, Kevin, and then Carrie and Jason. And it says, Wendy has the premonition before she and her friends enter Devil's Flight. She drags them out and saves them. Wendy indirectly killed at least 4 more people who took Kevin's, Carrie's, and Jason's and her spot. Now they have that people's life. It's typed weird. Pretty much. So again, this is gonna be like introduced into a later film. I think that's probably why they took it out. Because the scene that happens, unless it's a different scene, but I've watched like a video about it, and pretty much they do like a coin flip. You know how before they did like a coin flip and stuff like that, like our heads we go until we don't, whatever. And then he does the flip and it lands on him for them to go on the fucking ride. But in this alternate scene, it just shows him flipping the coin, and then when he grabs it in midair, she's like, "Nah, fuck that, let's go." And then that's it. And then those 4 leave, and then 4 people take their place in that ride, and then they died, but they take their life. They switch places with them. That's, you know, that alternate beginning and ending.
Okay.
I can see why they took it out, because otherwise there'll be no movie. Or they survived and stuff like that. So I don't know why they have these alternate scenes.
This is why Final Destination is hard, because like you don't have Michael, you don't have Pennywise, you don't have like an actual thing or figure or person like coming after you. You got death coming after you. So and then you introduce this premonition bullshit. So you have to like make it all make sense and weird. But it's like, I don't know. At some point, you just got to be like, maybe it was just a one and done. You know? Because if you had just a one and done, you wouldn't have to explain so much later on. Because now it's just like, okay, so does that mean everybody that dies in general can prevent it? Or can, you know what I mean? Because even that douchebag in here said 150,000 people die a year or a day or something like that. So it's not that crazy, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's Mr. Facts. Yeah, does that mean everybody that somehow goes left when they're supposed to go right has to deal with all this bullshit?
Probably.
I don't know.
It's I mean,
but once again, it's like, why would death like
so
wait it out or give you hints?
So he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care who's in that position. He just wants that shit to happen.
I don't get it.
As I'm saying, because then like I thought he was like just targeting you, like it's your time,
Right?
Not that group of people's time to go. It's your time.
But no,
to go.
now you're switching places,
and that's what I'm saying.
Shit.
So maybe that's why they didn't have it, or maybe it was just for funsies. And they
well,
was
if
like,
it was, that would be a cool thing to introduce, like we're talking about. But you have to you know. You gotta explain more, bitch. You gotta fucking, we gotta see that shit play out, you know? You can't just.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, aside from that, those were just like, I mean, even though like we're kind of like not talking shit on it, but just like just discussing it, I still think it's kind of cool how they were able to implement the whole choose their fate. It's part of a DVD thing, like, you know.
Yeah, but that's not the movie.
That's not the movie, but it's like a special features. And I missed that. I missed because that's something that that kind of does better than streaming nowadays, because you don't get that with streaming. You just get the movie and that's it. But with DVD back in the days, you get cool shit like this that kind of gives you a different like idea, or a different, like, I don't know, because that kind of reminds me of like the type of books that you read and you choose your adventure. You do an action, you go to that page and you have to follow or stuff like that. That kind of gave me that same vibe.
And speaking of that, like I Am Legend 2 is coming out. It's in the works.
Sick.
Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan are going to be in it.
Of course.
And they aren't using the theatrical ending.
Oh.
They're using the alternate to where he actually lived, which was on the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're straight out saying like that the ending that you know is not the ending.
That fucked everyone up.
Yeah, we're doing the alternate ending. So it's like, in a way, they can just do an alternate. Yeah. It's kind of strange, but anyway, I thought that was clever. The way you were talking about it, I was like, yeah, that makes me think of that, because yeah, everybody's like, well, he's dead. What the fuck are you gonna do? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, we're sorry. Everybody forget that. We're gonna go with this one that maybe some of you guys saw.
Some of you.
It's weird. It's weird that, but they're. I mean, obviously they're in production. They're doing this. Like, yeah, crazy. So you can't get away with it. Yeah. But I don't know how you can do this. They're not doing that with this.
No, they're not.
But those are fun.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, these are just like bonus stuff that I just wanted to add because it's kind of fun. Like I said, it just kind of made me remember of like the good days, to where like you just got these special features on any movie, or like some like random games and stuff like that on the DVD versus the streaming. You just get the movie and that's it. So
get the CD and like reading everything in it, going song by song and reading all the lyrics and
and the book and stuff.
Dude, I would just like with the CD, I would just fucking like spend hours, dude, just over and over,
reading shit,
over and over. And then now, dude, it's just like, oh, yeah, that song's pretty cool.
Yeah, just stream it, and then there's like nothing really cool to it. So, but yeah, I mean, again, those things were just cool, and then I kind of wish that they were kind of like there, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got the movie we can't change it now, and yeah, as far as rankings go, this is probably going to just stay at number 3.
Yeah, so far this is my least favorite.
Yeah,
let's take the number 3 spot. Number 1 will take the number 2 spot, and number 2 will take the number 1 spot for me.
Yeah.
You?
I'll probably have to go 2, 1, 3.
Up top. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2, 1, 3. Because I'm not trying to like think ahead, because even though I'm already knowing what's coming next, and I'm sure you guys know as well. I'm just trying to stay 1, 2, 3. That's it. Not trying to think ahead. I'm just trying to think between these 3 movies. The second one is just far more superior. You really wouldn't think that a sequel will do better than the original, and then for sure the third movie would not really do better than the sequel, because you're just kind of just pumping movies out. That's kind of like any franchise, you know, with Scream 3, Halloween 3, you know, with those type of movies that you're just kind of making multiple of them. You're kind of like, you know. But with the sequel, you never really expected, because like what Randy said, you know, by definition, they're inferior films. Like you never really thought the second one would top the first one. And for this example, the second one did do better than the first one.
And once again, with Saw, I'm just going to tell you, if Saw would have ended at 3,
It would have been perfect.
That's a nice little wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad if it stops, but it did not stop. Anyway, yeah, there's very rarely you see 3 and it works. Clerks did it. So it's not impossible. Okay? Get with it, people.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have anything else?
No. That's it.
Alrighty. Well, it's going to do it for us. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys for watching. We will never ask you, but if you have subscribed, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate. Leprechaun came out right there. Thank you.
Thank you. And also, be on the lookout for the Final Destination.
Yeah, what a dumb fucking. That was when it was like sealed the deal. This franchise
This is over.
Like it's over, dude. When you go to it's not called Final Destination 4.
It's called the Final Destination.
The Final Destination, which is coming up.
Which is coming up next.
All right, we're doing this. This is the series. We're doing this to lead up to Final Destination Bloodlines.
Hell yeah.
We're not there yet, but I tell you,
We have to get through these stinkers first.
we do. And this one wasn't that great. I'm hoping that 4 surprises me in some way.
Yeah, we hope so too.
But we'll see. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. But for right now, this is Rock Hard. Out.
Beans, rice, and Jesus Christ. Bitches.
Toodles.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.